Alright, good evening everyone. Welcome to the channel. Tonight we are in Mass Effect. Let's take the tuners off and bring ourselves up and running and get ourselves into where we were last week and ready to do things. Everything's up and running. We have our camera. We have, well, quite clearly because you can see me there. Hello. Alright, tunes are out. Game audio's up. Let's bring ourselves in. Okay, so we have been running. It is very, very loud. Turn that down a bit. We've been running our second playthrough of Mass Effect. Our first playthrough, we went with Garrus and Rex on normal difficulty, whatever the difficulty was, and now we're running at hardcore. And whoop, don't go to that. We are now running with Ash and Kaiden as our party members. We've got Liara. We haven't done Ferris or Novaria just yet. We've got a whole bunch of side quests still open. We've just been rolling through. We picked up Rex's family armor just by crawling through the galaxy. We've got, yeah, a handful of other side missions to go. I think it's 50 missions. Let me double check. 45 missions with Ash, 45 missions with Kaiden. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I should count down. That should be sensible, wouldn't it? 6, 7, 8, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So at 33 missions. So we should get about 12 more missions, and then hopefully those trophies will pop. Hopefully. Fingers crossed, toes crossed, everything else crossed. Don't save. Okay, we had a mission here, which was... Yep, okay, we've obviously surveyed everything. They were all done, so we should go back to Normandy. Now, the reason I've been saving and ending the game at the end of the week is to... Hello, Lord Typer. You've been listening to music again. Alright, so the reason I leave the session on a planet is because otherwise if I'm standing at the bridge in the Normandy, I can't remember if I've actually been down and looked at the planet. Plus, at least this way, I know that the planet is the last thing in the galaxy, in the system to look at. So I can now zoom out and know that I've looked at Yangtze, Columbia. I don't think I've visited yet. I got a feeling I've been to Amazon. I'll just do a quick double check. Pretty sure I have. So we'll go to Columbia next. Well, yeah. Kind of. See, I think I've been there. Whoops. See, if it doesn't give me a scan option, I think I have. So you never gave me the suggestions for the other bands to listen to there, Lord Typer. Yes, yeah, I'm almost certain I've done a lap of Amazon. Yeah, you were talking about it the other day. You obviously mentioned I can't think of their name. It's a big long name. Had a couple of German words in it. Alright, Ash and Kaiden, you come with me. Yes, I'm happy. Take that down a notch. Yes, them. But I thought you mentioned another name as well, but clearly I was wrong. Alright, so I think Columbia's... No, I've definitely been here. Yes, I have. I've cleared the place out. What the... Who is doing that? Okay. Yes, okay, those songs. I thought you'd mentioned other bands because I was yapping on about Sabaton at the time. But I thought you'd mentioned a couple of other bands as well. But no, I was wrong. Mistaken. Right. So we're now going to head for Colombia. Now, I said we've got 12 more tasks and missions that we need to do at a minimum before the trophies will pop. And we are doing really well in terms of our leveling. I mean, the closer we get to the 60 before going into the next game, into the third playthrough, the better. But because the XP gap between 59 and 60 is pretty much half of the entire XP to get to 60. Right, come in, Nephron. Alright, we'll come and land there in a sec. Is that the one, the... No. I thought it was the one that one of the races had... I didn't need to back out like that. That one of the alien species had gone and extracted a Leviathan slash well, or a Prothean ship from, but it wasn't that planet. Alright, nothing in there. Alright, was it that one? Come on, Nephron. Right, let's have a plan of where we're going and what we're doing. We're going somewhere and we're doing something. Quite clearly we're going to go to that okay, we're going to go anomaly and then debris and then underground facility, I think. Yeah, if you want to, Lord Top, if you want to drop those in, I was going to say YouTube. The Street Corner channel on Discord. that way I get to see it, and it will be out of the main channel, out of the general channel. Please tell me I just said it. I did. And actually, I was having just a quick look then to make sure I knew there was a channel for it on the Discord. I seen that we were talking about the Coke Zero flavoured Oreos and the Oreo flavoured Coke Zero. Today, I found Sour Patch Oreos. I don't mind them. They've got a decent little tang to them. But if I was to describe the flavour, I'd say they taste green. Most of the other people I offered them to didn't like them. That's their loss. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. So how's your migraines today, mate? And I discovered in setting up, okay, I don't know if I made an error here, but it's actually a bug in YouTube. I think it's a bug in YouTube because I managed to find references to it from 2020, and YouTube said they were going to fix it back then. But if you set up multiple live streams in advance, so like I sequence, obviously I schedule my gaming. So I set up a week's worth of live streams in advance. Now, it's possible that because I set it to make sure that when OBS went live, it told YouTube to go live, but I was also watching in YouTube Studio. It picked the last one I created to go live on, even though it wasn't the one that I'd scheduled. I think YouTube has really odd internal calculations about what it means when something's scheduled for a given time. That's alright, I'll just cut it back and only put one stream in advance on YouTube. That way when I go live, it'll automatically, should, pick up that stream. Although, experience in the last couple of days, I've got to actually have YouTube open and go in and click the button. Okay, I see bad guys. Bad guys, they're not good. Alright, well that'll be good, the Dragon Age stream. If I'm up, I'll try and drop in. Yeah, we forgot, with the warmer weather, it was like 22 today. Well, actually, funny thing, got up, took the dog for a walk this morning. It was fine when I left. The ground had a little bit of moisture on it, suggested it had rained a little overnight. I'm like, cool. Sky looked a bit cloudy. I'm like, okay, fine. About 5 minutes into the walk, it started raining, and decent rain. I'm like, oh, dog was happy. And it almost entirely stopped by the time we got home. It's like, oh, joy. Ow, don't shoot me. But no, it find up 22 degrees. It was supposed to rain in the evening, and then the next couple of days should be even better. Now, the other thing I've done, having worked out that the audio on my React stream / chat streams was off, I did tighten the audio up. So hopefully that works a bit better. It also means the auto talk, not a hot mic, what do they call it? The voice activation is a little bit less sensitive. So, yeah, a little bit less sensitive because it's running extra filtering. Thank you. I will have a look at those in due course. Thank you, Lord Typer. Huh. I never actually changed the screensaver times. Oops. Got it. Thank you all. Funnily enough, we were talking about that the other day, and a video comes up on YouTube in the recommendations where they're talking about battleship design since, well, pre-Dreadnought through to, well, they stopped building battleships at the end of World War Two, till basically World War Two. And yeah, they covered Jutland, Skagerrak. So I thought that was pretty cool. Pretty sure Google wasn't listening to me that much. I don't know whether you should be happy or not that Google listens to you. What does it mean when the overarching surveillance state refuses to listen to you? Yeah, can't get any viewers on a stream. Can't get anyone to listen to me at the government departments when I go talk to them. Even Google won't listen to me. No, actually, the funny, weird thing I had electronic-wise today was I was listening on earbuds, went for a walk, so I took my phone with me. My iPod died, so I was listening to the podcast and stuff on my walk, and get back in the car. And the car, it's usually connected with the car for CarPlay. I'm like, yep, cool. I went there. I did. So yeah, get back in the car, and it tries to take over while I'm still listening on the earbuds, and so there's a bit of a fight between the car and the earbuds as to who had audio control. And it's funny because it didn't switch them both off at once. It switched one earbud off and then the other, and it was going back and forth between car and earbuds for a couple of seconds, and then the car won. Well, that's the thing. I was looking at on my React stuff flash on the general chat and stuff. I covered an article that was talking about a US intelligence program that intercepted the internal signals. Well, intercepted the signals of the NKVD and then the KGB, and they'd been doing it since the middle of World War II, and how it was used to identify really quite interesting, like kind of fundamental towards how they uncovered a bunch of Russian spies in the West, how they knew that they were Russian spies in the Manhattan program, and a whole bunch of other stuff. But it was so sensitive that the army, which was running it, refused to tell the US president what was going on with it. They told him some of the product that came out of it, but they refused to tell him how they got it or where it came from. It's like, that doesn't help conspiracy theorists. The idea that the US president, there's stuff that the US president still can't see or isn't being shown. But I mean, that was declassified in the 80s. But there was, and this is from the Wikipedia article, so take it for what it's worth. It talked about them using outback collection systems in the Australian systems or a site in the Australian outback, and I'm like, there's really only one US site in the Australian outback as such that would have been there at that time. So that kind of gave out the game, I guess, for a little bit of what it was used for, but If you've not heard of the of Five Eyes before, look it up. I mean, it's technically it's an intel sharing agreement between US, Australia, Canada, UK, New Zealand. In practical terms or in conspiracy terms, people look at it as a means by which countries can spy on their own citizens by use of an external agent. So if the UK wanted to spy on its own citizens, they just basically ask one of the other Five Eyes nations to do it and then share the intel through the Five Eyes program. That's the conspiracy. Now, is there merit to it? Well, kind of been a few things over the years that people have suspected were because of it. But I couldn't tell you how likely that was. Ooh, look at all these nice weapons. It is interesting though. That is a ton of damage, and for a non-spectre weapon, that is real good. I'll hang on to that. I don't know what you're talking to me about US bases for anyway, Lord Typer. The Americans still have plenty of bases in Germany. For now. And Germany, after reunification, was one of the handful of countries around the world that was operating both Western and Eastern Bloc military hardware at the same time. So the Luftwaffe was operating MiGs and they have F-16s. They had F-105s, but that was before. Eurofighters. They got Eurofighters, I know that much. So Germany, post-reunification, I think Poland as well. Poland definitely had MiGs, and they've definitely got F-16s. In fact, I know they're still operating them. So no, yep, Poland's still got Western and Eastern mix. Egypt for a while, but then basically they replaced all their Eastern Bloc stuff with Western sourced. India has a mix, or had a mix, and have also built their own systems. And Indonesia for a while. I don't know. Yes, the Panavia tornado. The I don't know how much the Germans use them compared to the Brits. Like, I know a lot more about how the Brits use them. Definitely used to fly them low level. Use them in the Gulf and things like that. Kind of like the German-British answer to the F-111. Low-level bomber, but with TFR and everything else. I mean, unfortunately, sadly, the Brits flew them into the ground quite a bit in Iraq because I forget if they had a policy, they had to hand fly them, or they didn't trust the TFR over the sand. But they lost a few that way. But yeah, front and back as opposed to side to side. Interesting aircraft. All right, who are we going to shoot here?
I will destroy you! Go, go, go! Destroy you! I will destroy you!
Cerberus, right. Run, 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 run. You talking about the tornado still? Well, they were a bomber more than a fighter. I mean, yeah, technically they could have. It's a bit like the F-111. Technically, it's a bomber. I know it says F at the start. It's like the F-117. The F-117 was not designed as a fighter. It was a fighter bomber, i.e., a bomber. The F-111 came out of the TFX program, which was yes, true. So okay, so the F-111 is an interesting duck. The aardvark, the pig. What else was I called it? It was the aardvark, the pig. Just trying to think, because it was only Australia and the US that operated them. Australia called them the pig. The Americans called them the aardvark. But yeah, okay. So the F-111 came out of the TFX, Tactical Fighter Experimental Program, and it was designed as like a proper tri-service fighter, so input from the Navy, Army, and Air Force. As everyone kept adding their requirements to it, it got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and eventually got to the point it was too large for carrier ops. So the Navy dropped out, and I forget the Army kind of left a bit while before. But there wasn't really anything in inventory until the B1 came along that kind of did it. Now, those B1s, I don't know that they fly them low level as much anymore. They could be flown nap of Earth. In fact, I've seen B-52s flown nap of Earth. That's scary to see. But no, so the F-111 kind of came out of that TFX and kept the F designator, though I don't know that they've ever had an air-to-air engagement. They flew in Vietnam right at the very end, just like the F-14. They've done air-to-air kills in exercise, but I don't know if they've ever achieved it for real. Now, when the F-35 program came along, anyone who knew their history was getting very, very nervous because the last aircraft that they tried to do this design by committee on was the TFX, and it ended up with the F-111. And so the idea that they were going to succeed this time and actually get the F-35 out of it, yeah, people weren't very keen on it. And the idea that you're going to have a traditional takeoff and landing and VTOL variants under the same banner of airframe, yeah, people really got concerned about that because, well, one, had never been done before. Generally, you were talking about the Harrier being really the only other fixed-wing SVTOL at that time, and that had lots of issues. That was a maintenance nightmare. In fact, whoops. But yeah, oh, good, you live in like the Mac Loop equivalent. Yeah, no, they toss bomb, or pop, fly their different profiles and stuff. So yeah, they'll basically flick up. They'll come in low level, get close to where they need to drop stuff, flick up, and basically toss the weapon, and it'll then fly through the sky, go hide in the aircraft, blah 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 blah, come down, all that sort of stuff. And I mean, the whole nap of Earth flying for those aircraft was a means to, that's some interesting armor, was a means to overcome or defeat air defenses and for operations in environments where you did not have control of the air. So yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic means of flying. Kind of scary when you see it, but g'day Ash, how are you? But even now, yeah, they'll still practice low flying. Military have designated low flying areas. Pretty much most countries got them. I mean, we've got, well, I know of at least two here in Australia, designated low-flying areas overland. Certainly the ones that are doing forward air control do a lot of low flying. Oh, and then you got the maritime guys, the guys that fly over water. They fly low level. Like you see photos of, actually, was it a German? No, it was a Dutch one. There's footage years ago of a Dutch P3 Orion, so the big maritime patrol aircraft, flying basically below the deck level of a cruise ship or a ferry or something. I've seen the footage. It was online for a bit. But I've also seen footage of a B-52, so the big strategic bomber, flying over water below the deck level of an aircraft carrier. And because of the way that aircraft's designed, um, if you want it to fly level, the aircraft body itself has to pitch down because the wings are pitched back. I think that's right. I think that's the right way around. So yeah, for the aircraft to fly straight and level, for the wings to be level, the front of the aircraft points down. Well, they're going to make it a Sentry in service, uh, because, quite frankly, Ash, there's nothing to replace it. I mean, the B2s are awesome. They carry a fair amount of ordnance and stuff, but nothing's a bomb truck like the B-52. Um, even with the underwing and everything else, it's quite. Hang on, let me just check my journal. I am looking for. I am on Nephron. I am on Nephron. Yeah. Well, the B-52 was the only one that really lasted out of the B series, the big B series. I mean, B-29 was nice. Stratofortress was good for its age and everything else. The B-47 was pretty good for a while, but the B-52 just survived as a bomb truck. I can get rid of a whole bunch of that. I'll get rid of that. Yes. I'll get rid of that. Yes. Medium armor, I'm not going to use. But yeah, no, they're definitely going to extend it. Once it had the engine upgrades, and I guess the slightly different way of using it, being able to use JSOWs, JDAMs, TLAMs, and other standoff type weapons, the life expectancy and the lifespan of them really got extended. Now, the B-52 should be the first aircraft to hit 100 years in service life, and the C-130 is not far behind. I forget exactly when they first came into service, but yeah, the C-130 will probably be the second airframe to hit 100 years service life. I mean, they're not. I mean, a B-52H, I think that's the current model, has very little in common to a B-52A, but it's still a B-52. Just like a C-130J, I don't think they've gone any higher, has little in common with a C-130A, but again, it's still a C-130. But no, they're wonderful airframes. Well, that's the thing. The B-52s, from what I've read, they initially didn't go over the top of Iraq or Afghanistan. They can stand off because they're up so high. With things like JSOWs and JDAMs and TLAMs and things like that, they don't need to go in country. Height gives range of its own, and with those smart weapons, they can lob from a distance. Yes, once you had control of the air, they moved in and flew over the top, but way up in the stack. The B2s, the F-117s, yeah, they flew those in while establishing air superiority. Um, See, the F-117 got retired, then unretired. Just trying to think what other airframe's going to have a huge lifespan. I think I can't think of any fighter aircraft that are going to last 100 years. The P-3 might, but most nations have withdrawn it from service. There's a handful of nations still operating it, and the NOAA still flies them. US Coast Guard flies them, and they're used in a couple of other super specialised roles. They may make 100 years, but it's going to take a lot of care. Um, um, well, look at what 5EX does. Well, that's the thing. But see, the AC-130 wasn't the first AC. They started out modifying, in essence, Dakotas, and then moved up from that. And yeah, I mean, but that puts a lot of damage to it. I mean, okay, so the C-130 variant includes things like compass call. I used to know there's like a dozen different variants. And what they do is they put a cube or like a couple of pallets in the back and a couple of antennas, and they'd be used for a whole bunch of stuff. They used to use them they flew them over, I know they flew them over Iraq in 2003, and it's like a propaganda role. They've got one that's basically a flying TV and radio station to mass broadcast into
Transmission coming in, Commander.
the area.
I think you're going to want to hear this one.
Greetings, Commander Shepard. I represent a party interested in obtaining information on Cerberus activities.
If you know something about Cerberus, you'd better tell me.
I suspect I know less about Cerberus than you do. I'm merely an agent for the Shadow
the
Group.
52s, yeah. I mean, obviously Vietnam showed how easy they were to shoot down if you just flew them in a straight line at the same altitude every time. But they have the protection suites that pretty much everyone else has. But no, they're not going to bring them in country until air superiority is guaranteed. Like, for example, the airstrikes against Iran. No way were they going to use the B-52 for that, unless you left it out over the water, out over the Arabian Sea, and threw something at it from a long way away. Whereas the B-2s could get much closer and do it that way. But yeah, the F-15, I don't think it's called the EX. Wasn't that the NASA test bed with the canards? I thought that was the one that had the really funny. It kind of looked like I know the F-16 had a special NASA variant that they had.
Your deal died with Kohoku. Why should I help you?
But yeah, interesting frames.
File this information away in some archive, but no secret stays hidden forever. Eventually, someone somewhere will deliver.
That's
it
it, the AC-47. That's it.
Might as well be you. Transmit the files to us, and you will be well compensated.
I'll transmit the files.
I knew you were a reasonable man, Commander. My employer will remember this the next time you need something from us.
But I mean, it's like you're talking of same numbers, different airframes. So in the civilian world, the 737 Max compared to the classic 737s, as they call them now, very, very, very different airframes. The Hornets, so a Super Hornet or an FA-18E, F or G, the G being the Growler EA variant, very, 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 very different aircraft to the A through D series. They share a name, but that's about it. Alright, so we've done Columbia. We've done here at the Voyager cluster. Pretty sure we did them. We're going to skip Ferris. So we're going to go out here now to the Armstrong Nebula, go across these three, and then we're going to spin back and do Ferris and Nevarian. and head back. So time for the Armstrong Nebula.
Message coming in from the brass at Arcturus. Patching it through.
Normandy? Admiral Hackett here. We're getting reports of a marked increase in Geth activity in the Skyllian Verge. Surveillance drones have identified Geth outposts on 4 different planets in the Armstrong cluster. We need someone to take them out.
Now, I'm being a renegade annoying pain in the butt, but I'm not
I'm on
going
it,
to turn
Admiral.
it down.
Finding Saren is still your top priority.
You
You've
guys
got
have got me
experience fighting a Geth,
digging through
with
my
logical
military
choice to
history
take out these outposts.
and airframes and weapons and stuff.
We're transmitting all the locations of known Geth outposts in the Armstrong cluster to the Normandy now.
That's it. I'm going to pull out
Admiral Hackett out.
Ace Combat at some point, or maybe even I'll fly X-Plane for a bit, or Harpoon, or what's the name of the game, the thing that replaced Harpoon? Modern Combat Operations, Modern Combat, something or other. Like Harpoon, but modified. I even played Ticonderoga back in the days. But in terms of retired airframes that I loved, there's so many cool aircraft that flew during the, particularly during the Cold War. The A6 and EA6. I don't know what about them. I just find them incredibly awful aircraft. Awesome. Good job cutting that out, you stupid thing. Maybe I should play the old Microprose F-117, because I found out how you can get the Medal of Honor on one mission, and basically you fly. Okay, I know we're paused here for a second. This is sidetracked. You fly out of one of the German bases. You fly low level manually below like 100 feet, and you need to do a photographic run basically of a target way into the east of Germany, maybe even into Poland. And the idea is that you fly it completely slow as possible, because the game gives you points based on the amount of time you spend in whatever is classed as enemy territory. You get extra points for not using your weapons, not escalating things, etc. Lack of detection, so that you do it at ultra low level to be below radar. With luck you can get all the way through and all the way back and land, and you get the Medal of Honor for the first mission. Yes. So, we'll work our way back. So, Cold War era. I mean, we've talked about the F-35 and whatever. Yep, whatever. So the A6s, I just for whatever reason decided that they were fantastic. Fixed wing anti-submarine warfare off a carrier. The idea of the Viking, the S3. I thought they were fundamentally ugly, but extraordinary in the role they did. The fact you hang these 2 massive turbofans off a fairly stubby wing short aircraft because it gave them efficiency and everything else, and then send them out to hunt submarines. Incredible aircraft. The A7 People Eater, I didn't mind. But in terms of the A-series aircraft, I mean the F4, but in terms of the A-series aircraft back then, I think the A6s were my favourite. Yeah, okay, you had the A4s, you had the Goshawks, you had the T-Hawks, you had the various Hawk series, you had the F4 Phantom, which I preferred in the USAF role, not the US Navy role. And I think the other nations that flew them tended to fly them more the way the USAF did than the USN. The F4s were an incredible aircraft too. But yes, now wind the clock back even further when you go to proper prop-driven aircraft coming off a carrier. I mean, as it is now, well, as it was 20 years ago, the E3, no, not the E3, goddammit, they don't launch E3s on carriers. The E2 was the heaviest and slowest aircraft launched off a carrier. And they also stayed up the longest. But back in the day, I think my personal favourite prop-driven carrier-launched aircraft, Fairy Swordfish, thank you very much. You're right, we have Germans in the chat. You probably have nightmares when you hear the word Fairy Swordfish. And the Seafire, which was the marinized carrier version of the Spitfire, and I think it was like a Mark 12 Spitfire was the variant. But other than that, yeah, okay, you got the Harriers and all the other bits and pieces, but yeah, the Americans had some awesome carrier aircraft during World War II and Korea and stuff. I mean, the Sky Raiders were they carrier launched? The A1s? I don't know. Can't remember. But speaking of the A10 from before, I read a book only recently called Hogs in the Sand, and it's a first-hand account of an A10 pilot during the first Gulf War, so 1991. The bloke's probably early to mid-20s. And it's written from the point of view of a bloke like that, because it's his diaries, basically. And, I mean, the operations they flew were pretty cool. I mean, interesting. My controller turned off. But yes, now that you've been talking about that, you're going to make me want to pull out all those other games and things and go back to them. But yes, those aircraft, yeah, they're an amazing variants for their time and everything else. I mean, even the fact they launched, what was it, the Doolittle raid, that was incredible. The fact that they managed to get that even launched, let alone what it did. I mean, it was largely performative, but it showed Japan that they weren't safe in the home islands. The fact they got them onto a carrier and launched in the first place. And then you got all the rotary wing stuff. I mean, helo-wise, okay, the Apache's cool, the Cobra's cool. I mean, the gunship version of the Huey is cool. I mean, the Black Hawk's relatively cool. Seahawk is cool. But if you're talking about combat helicopters, I think the Russians had that in spades with their like flying tanks, effectively. You land and it's like a flying APC. Land and a stick of troop gets out. What was the game back then, in the late 90s? I think it was called Hokum versus Apache, or Hein versus Apache. No, is it Hokum versus Comanche? I can't remember. But then again, the game, one of the big games back then was Gunship 2000. We're talking about the helicopters. And then Longbow Apache, Jane's something, Jane's Air Forces. Now, talking about this sort of stuff, if you ever get the chance to get your hands on a physical copy of Jane's fighting ships, or Jane's, all the world's navies, I mean, Jane's information services, yeah, they're really, really good. Jane's Air Forces / Aircraft isn't as good a book as... Okay, I've got to turn the controller off a sec, sorry. It's done something a bit weird here. Jane's fighting ships is incredible in terms of the level of unclassified detail they have on world navies and platforms, and how detailed their reporting on the ships and stuff are. It's amazing that they can get all that detail. A hard copy of Jane's fighting ships is for probably the size of an A2 sheet of paper, but it's about, I mean, I might have exaggerated the size. I think it felt like it was an A2. It was bigger than an A3. It was about 10 centimeters thick, weighed what felt like a ton. But yeah, you could pick pretty much anything that was military or military adjacent that floated, and it'd be in there. And not only would it be in there, it would also be the Navy / force it came from, their setup, who was in charge, all that sort of stuff. They were fantastic books. The sort of thing a military nerd, data nerd just would have loved. But sadly, like I said, their Air Forces / aircraft book wasn't exactly the same. Would have been nice if it was. Okay, we are here. We have an anomaly, a Geth outpost, and a debris. We're going to go this way first. What was it? So how have you been anyway, Ash? Alright, let's go check this anomaly. Oh, so it's still stupid hot. Well, where's... you probably missed it when I was talking to Lord Typo before, but we've had the days warming up here. Well, the last couple of days have been rather warm. We've had, like, today in Sydney was supposed to be up to like 27. It's then supposed to drop back to 13 and 18 and stuff like that midweek. But yeah, we were talking about, I think it was low 20s, low to mid 20s, which for the first week of spring is pretty decent. 35, wow. Yeah, no, we're expecting another cold week again fairly soon, but yeah, weather like that this late in the season? Well, Lord Typer was saying it was pretty warm where he was the other week, or over the weekend. What am I doing for map? Map. Well, hopefully the weather starts cooling down. Yeah. Well, depending on which way the weather's coming from, our weather is normally fairly dry. Now, I've lived places where, even though it was on the coast, it was very, very dry because the prevailing wind and weather came directly off the desert. And so even though you had, yeah, like I said, plenty of wet stuff around, during summer you'd have furnace-like conditions. And then I had the opportunity to visit the Middle East, visit the UAE in summer, and encountered what proper hot, dry weather was. I'm like, yep, okay, cool. But it's dry. But again, if the wind comes from if the weather comes from the other direction, it gets a little bit of humidity. Nothing like the tropics, though. I mean, one of my other semi-regulars now, they live in Hong Kong, and they obviously get really humid, sticky weather quite often up there. But I think they're all looking forward to the cooler shift. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the worst part of living in like built-up areas. Like you go, okay, if the night should be cool, open all the windows and everything, and then it's like 10, 11 o'clock at night, and it's like still 30 plus degrees. You go out of the city, and it's like, okay, much cooler. But oh yeah, you're right. The heat island effect, they call it, which is one of the issues that plagues climate science, is correcting for the heat island effect on weather stations. But yeah, very, very noticeable. So not too far away. I mean, I was driving home tonight. I've been there. I need to go up here. At what? Quarter past 6, 6 o'clock, quarter past 6, and it was still really light. Like you'd say it was twilight. The sun, you couldn't see the sun behind the hills, but yeah, if it was completely flat to the horizon, the sun would probably still be up, partially. So I'm looking at it going, big change in only the last couple of weeks, and that must mean daylight savings isn't far off. Well, it's about a month. What, it's 10 degrees at the moment? Well, that'd be nice. See, that's the thing, living in Australia, the whole idea of 15 degrees being shirt sleeve weather or average temperature, 15's cold. Well, see, okay, so daylight savings, I get the argument about how sensitive people can be about it. Now, I will say, as somebody who's lived and worked at a variety of latitudes, if you're below, yeah, if you're below 30 degrees north or south, so outside the tropics, which is 0 to 22.5 north and south, even, yeah, to about 30 degrees north and south, the diurnal shift, the shift of of twilight over time, over the seasons, isn't that great. So if you're on the equator, you're okay, because we have the tropics. No, the timings do shift. Your sunset and sunrise times are going to be fairly consistent during the year. They'll go back and forth over a short range. The further you go from the equator, the more extreme it gets, till you get to the poles, where or into the Arctic and Antarctic circles, where you'll have periods of near continual daylight in the respective summers, or continual winter in the respective winters. The whole point of daylight savings is really for those areas between the tropics, or in the temperate zones, really, where you do get massive shifts of effective daylight during the year. Your sunset and sunrises time do move by significant values, and so the idea of moving the local time to a point where you have more daylight during usable hours, so usually in the afternoon, makes it a lot of difference. Because if you've ever had to be in the situation where it's dark when you get up, dark when you get home from work, that's miserable for many hours. It's not necessarily about saving curtains or making sure the cows give milk at the right time, all that sort of stuff. It's one of those things that when I was up in the tropics, visiting the tropics, it was like sunset, same time every night, but twilight, so the period between, they call it nautical twilight, I think is the term for it, between sunset and when it gets dark. There's civil twilight and nautical twilight, but there's a gap. I mean, sun goes down, you can't see the sun, but it's still light enough to do stuff. Twilight. Up in the equator, up in the tropics, nope. Sun goes down, it gets dark real quick. Further you go away, as you tend towards the longer hours in the seasons, your twilight period extends, and you can get some quite useful time out of it. So there's times when you're working off daylight tables and things like that, where your daylight is linked to latitude more than anything else. Local time is linked to longitude and political will. At least you're not in China, where it's Beijing time and nothing else. So, I mean, I've lived places and I've worked places where daylight savings has and hasn't been in effect, and I understand, having lived and needed to work full daylight times, I understand the need for it.
Heading out.
But if you're only doing a 9 to 5 office job and you sit in the car the rest of the time and you don't really go outside and do much activity outside, who really cares when daylight is? Until you get seasonal affectivity disorder. Sad. The whole problem of lack of sunlight. Oh, people are shooting at me. Get out of the way. Shoot. Somewhere else. Go somewhere else. Wham. Oop, missed. Wham. Missed again. Up. Haha. Got him. Oh, that's right. I remember. This is basically there's a path up here, and I get shot at most of the way up. There we kind of go. I'm going to loop up there eventually. One to go. One to go. Don't do that. Surprise. Ow. Dun, 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 dun. Ah, Colossus. Really?
One down, 3 to go.
Good work, team. Round and round and round we go. Where we stop? No one? No, no. Right, check map. Okay, we have done everything here. Check equipment. I don't want that. Yes, don't want that. Don't want that. Don't want that. All right, good work, team. All right, what time is it? Well, it's 10:15 for me. I will be up in the morning. I will be doing a React type just chatting stream tomorrow morning, my time. So we're talking, 11 hours from now, 12-ish hours from now. The VOD will be up on YouTube for sure. I know that much. And it'll go out all 3 services. But I think YouTube tends to be the major place for those ones. And I got to finish cutting the videos, putting them up. I do have them. I was working on them. Okay, I'll come up to Casman later. Or survey. I was not reading them at all. Okay, Casbin, was it? Do I check this place? I did. Alright, in we get. Come on, team, not you. Dun 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 dun. Alright, we've got another Geth outpost out here. We are there. We need to go there. We need to go that way first. Up the big mountain. Well, that's the other thing I was going to do today that I didn't get to. I've got to change the camera setup on my VTuber. The app I'm using at the moment takes its sweet time finding the camera. I mean, it runs okay when it does, and it's pretty good for motion detection and everything else. Not the facial motion, but the lip syncing is done through VC face based off an audio input. But the actual motion, such as it is, I'm not really moving at the moment, comes from a video capture on another system, which I need to check. Oh, there we go. Alright, next stop. We're going to go for the debris. Don't fall down the mountain. Do not fall down the mountain. Huh. I see bad things on the horizon. On the map, at least. There it is. Ah.
I'm on my way.
What do you got for me? Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Close.
Red.
Map. There. Save. Alright, back up the mountain. Someone's shooting at me. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Get down!
Stop shooting me in the back.
My shields!
Get up, you slacker.
I owe you one. Patching you up.
Right, where is the bad site? There. Kaiden, why are you having lie down every 5 minutes?
Patching you up.
Alright, let's go back to the Mako. But nice if you'd let me use 2 Medigels on this little stop. Problem was the Mako ate so much damage on that little...
Yes, sir.
The other way.
Say the word.
Can't see it. I'm not parked on top of it, am I? No. Alright, how about we just blow it up? Okay, won't blow up either. Alright. Doesn't want to tell me what it is. Fine. Alright, we'll get rid of that. Get rid of that. We'll take the rest. I did stop there to have a look, and it wouldn't tell me. Alright, save. Eesh. Up, 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 up. There's an ore body. Got a feeling I shouldn't be running along the ridge here, but it's like riding horses in Skyrim. I'm going to point in the right direction I want to go and just go. Up, there it is. Oh, we'll go this way. And this way. And this way. Ah. Did I save already? I think I should do it again. Alright, well, chances are there's get snipers. Hence why I'm getting jammed.
That's it. Bag him and tag him.
Right, I'm going to use a sniper. run. That was not what I wanted, not what I wanted.
Halfway to driving this imperial bastard out of the system.
Ow, ow, ow. Get away. Cannon to the face. That always works. I think. Oh, no, more. Guess I think we're done here, but not quite. In fact, there's 2 war bodies. Which isn't too bad, because it still all counts towards everything. Now if I go look at, okay, equipment, yeah, fine, whatever. If I look at squad, level 56, I'm still only halfway to the level 60, but I mean, every tiny amount of XP helps. They are leveled up twice last week. I don't think I'm going to be leveling up today. Up, up, up. Up. Now I was going to call it as soon as I cleared that Geth camp, but did I land on top of it? I did land on top of it. That's pretty good. Alright, back to the ship. Alright, so that's 2 systems scanned. Alright, so I'm pretty sure I did Bamshi, Hong. Yeah, I definitely go that way around. Alright, Fresh Cobra. It is. Oh, what are you there? Scan that, thank you. Travel. Survey. Okay, antibar I'll get to in just a sec. I also got to check how my surveys and stuff is going at the moment. I mean, there's a lot of lore in the game that I'm just blasting past on this playthrough. But it is really, well, quite well developed, I think. So have a look over here. I did. Was it you I want to land on? Well, I don't want to, but is it you I'm landing on? I think it is. Right, let's get you, let's go, accept. Now, I think it's Ash I'm sacrificing on this playthrough. Oh, and I'm also killing the Rachni Queen. Get my words right. I'm going to kill the Rachni Queen as well when we go to Vermeer. Vermeer? Vermeer. No, Noveria, not Vermeer. Vermeer is where Saren is hanging out. Okay, anomaly. Okay, we'll go that way. Right, so journal. Let's have a look. Assignments. Yeah, we'll get there eventually. Okay, so in terms of... Yeah, okay, we're going to get there eventually. So 8 of 13 on that one, 6 of 10 on that one, 4 of 3. Well, that's good. 5 of 10. Gases. See, the gases took me a long time to pick up last time. These are progressing. They're progressing. Cool. So yeah, as boring as it is doing this, it is critical to kicking over another mission, quest line, and whilst I've got party members in the party, it's also critical for ensuring that they get the mission counts while they're with me. Get out of the Mako. Here we go. All right, let's roll. Backwards. Let's roll. Yeah, I noticed that. You've been... I'm glad I redirected you to the other channel on Discord. You've been very active over there the last little while there, Lord Typer. And some of that stuff looks really good. I'm going to have to dig up some of the stuff I've been listening to that's... probably... I mean, if you're listening to that stuff, I dare say you've probably heard of some of these other bands that I listen to. given that the Euro metal of some sort. Get away, Threshamore! Get away! Get away! Get away now! Like, there's a bunch of melodic metal, goth metal. There's a couple of bands I don't listen to as much anymore. I found they couldn't separate. Well, that was close. Their politics from their, like they couldn't separate their politics or their ideology from their music.
All targets down.
Keep driving, keep driving, keep driving. Getting closer. Is this the one with the Marines? I think it might be, no? I thought they were on a different planet. Oh, run, 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 run. For a band that's only been out for a couple of years? Yeah, I mean, great. I mean, there's a couple of the big, like, metal. Oh, that was bad. I shouldn't have taken that hit. The big metal concerts, shows and stuff in Germany and stuff like Rock am Ring and things like that, which at some point I'd love to be able to attend. Big, massive bands and things like that. Oh, I'd probably work it out. Oh, okay, that's decent. No, I thought I killed you. There's two of them. Okay, that sucks. That there was two of them just then. Huh. Well, that's like a bunch of Sabaton's Swedish stuff. I like their English translations, but some of the stuff that's done just in Swedish sounds so much better. I know it's basically the same, but I mean, the one I like more in English though, I mean, Carolus Rex, it's very hard. Well, I used to have access to a copy of it in English on a streaming service, but they swapped it out for the Swedish version. And it's not too bad. I mean, it sounds better in Swedish, but I prefer the English version because the lyrics are pretty cool. Alright, we've been that way, been that way, been that way, been that way. Well, that's like the one. Okay, I see Rammstein. I don't know whether you'd class them as heavy metal or new metal, but a lot of Rammstein stuff that made it out here, okay, was their English lyric stuff, but the German stuff was not far behind. Like, people who got into Rammstein and listened to their albums, listened to all of their albums, including the German stuff. That's just Rammstein's lyrics full stop. They're a weird group of people. It's like you hear what their music sounds like without listening to the words or anything like that. And then you go and watch their video clips or the clips of their songs, and you're like, huh, I never would have seen that happening. They've got their place, but so I think Rammstein's like the heaviest German music that a lot of English speakers might have heard, or would have heard without digging much further. I'd have to. No, my iPod broke, so my playlists went bye-bye. I don't have access to it right now, but I kind of got into. So I used to listen to, back in the day when they were still active, Evanescence. No, I did not have an emo phase, but I listened to Evanescence back in the day, and through listening to them, I got recommended to groups like Lacuna Coil, who are, I'm going to get this wrong, Italian. Yes, they're Italian. I don't know how much Italian stuff they sing, but then that led into groups like Brain Fail, Nightwish, and groups like that. So basically, I did a loop through Europe by virtue of goth metal, well, melodic goth metal. So into Nightwish and a bunch of those bands and stuff as well. And Sabaton, I forget how Sabaton got recommended to me. Then Back in Black, she sings with her teeth, but I gotta say, Back in Black was one of those bands that some of their stuff was really, really good. The stuff that they try to make real political sort of fell flat, I think. Like the tone of it was missing. I mean, I know punk music is meant to be political by virtue of what it is, but the number of punk people that sort of stopped producing good stuff is quite high. But then the one band I sort of made up for it with was Beast in Black. Again, I don't know how it got recommended to me. It was a YouTube recommendation. One day I picked up Beast in Black, and next thing you know, it's like in heavy rotation on my playlists and stuff. And then I had someone, another streamer, recommend to me, this was a couple of years ago before they sort of even remotely cracked it big, Polyphia. New German hardness industrial metal. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I wouldn't have thought that Germany had a lot of industrialness at its core, but you look at trance, you look at the EDM that comes out of Germany, a lot of it is like a lot of the Germanic trance and EDM styles are considered hard. Certainly not as hard as hard bass that is like Russian. Some of that stuff's weird and cool. But no, I got into probably German electronica and stuff through, I guess, people like Sash back in the day. And then, because I'd heard little bits of Kraftwerk, like I could never get into them. Lord of the Lost, I might have heard of them. But there's certainly a group of musicians in the goth metal scene over there in Europe, particularly in the Netherlands and Germany, who have share musicians amongst themselves. So, for example, Nightwish I'm sure it's Nightwish, have changed their lead female singer a couple of times over the years, and it's like they've all gone on and been associated with other bands and stuff over time as well. Just trying to think what the other thing is. So yeah, I mean you've got is it Woodstock, Poland? I forget what the other name for that used to be, but that I'd see a lot of stuff on YouTube from, where are they shooting from down there? Out. From Woodstock, Poland, and it'd be largely metal. But I mean, I also know like Rock Am Ring and things like that are big festivals as well. But I haven't seen or heard much in terms of seeing those playlists online. Okay, let's go up here. Crouch, and where are ya? You take a shot. You take a shot.
All targets down.
Or at least that we can see. Trust me, they're not all down. I'll have to dig into my playlists. I don't have music on when I'm streaming. I mean, the music I play on stream that people can hear is stuff I have the license for, so that's fine. But other stuff, I mean, I've watched... there's a German League of Legends streamer I've seen from time to time. And he has some... I wouldn't be able to tell you who it is, but his music choice, it's a hard techno that he's got running. Kind of funny listening to him stream that and then get worked up yelling in German at League of Legends. Sometimes it's pretty cool. Ooh, ow. Come on, take the shot. Take the shot. Duck, weave, dodge, duck, weave, dodge. Come on, take the hit. Right, that's it. You guys are starting to irritate me. Yeah, you guys just shot into the ground for a fair bit and said it was all clear. That doesn't count. Ow. Seriously.
All clear.
Well, you are the one who doesn't wear heavy armor, and you just like
All
to
clear.
run out in the way and get
All patched
shot.
up. Hostile spotted.
Good job, Kate. Good job.
Think we're good, Commander.
Come on, drop it. Oh, that's it. Alright, let's go back and get the Mako. Come on. Everybody up. Let's run. It was a Colossus. And I was so close.
Taking hits. We're hit.
We're hit!
One more outpost left. The sooner we get rid of it, the sooner this cluster's secure.
I think we're good, Commander.
So what the hell did you do? Right, you're back to somewhat alive. Yeah, the Mako's not doing well. Alright. Good stretch. Actually, no, it wouldn't be in the playlist. Huzzah. Alright, so we did this place as well. So now it's down to Gagarin. Yup. Alright, last outpost. So, Lord Typer, you said you picked up that tunic at, I'm guessing, a festival for this band that you keep talking about? Or it was just somewhere they were playing, or what? I'm guessing it's a fairly common thing. Not common. Yeah, I guess it'd be a big thing amongst the band. All right. That tunic you picked up and were showing off the other day, was that at a festival where this band was playing at, or a show or something? And I'm guessing they're not going to have people in the audience wearing that sort of stuff, do they? Canonophobia. Speaking of understanding German, we had a German staying with us, reading. They were reading a book in German. And I said, "Look, I understand German. Let me have a read." No. Come on. Let me have a read. So there are groups of people hanging out. Okay, all right. I'm going to have to definitely start looking up some of this stuff. Well, the other the other metal I've been listening to lately is baby metal. Nothing wrong with it. Some of their collab stuff is really good. The collab they did with Bring Me the Horizon on Kingslayer. I don't listen to much Bring Me the Horizon, if any. But that is a really good track. Alright, so we're going to go... Looks like I got to climb up. So we'll go that one first. Loop around the back, pick that up, and then go up there. But I find in some of the Bring Me the Horizon clips, their concert behaviour seems weird from the audience. Their pits and stuff, yeah, okay, fine. But they've got guys, mainly, there's some sort of weird dancing that I'm guessing is associated with Bring Me the Horizon, because people seem to be dancing the same way every time. It's not moshing, it's not circles, it's not, basically it's not stuff in the pit, but to watch some of the baby metal stuff and watching the full-blown pits they have is kind of funny. But I mean, their music's pretty good. I mean, if you look past the fact it's a bunch of Japanese well, they're full-grown ladies now, dressed as schoolgirls, metallic schoolgirls. Oh, the collab they did with the Thai rapper for Papaya. I thought that was, like, I hadn't heard much of their collab stuff. That was the first thing I'd heard of theirs, which was working with other people. No, I did a little bit. I didn't watch all of it. There was another one which just got put out. In fact, there's a video clip talking of Evanescence. Amy Lee and a few others have put a clip out, and it looks dark, dark gothic. I haven't listened to it yet. I'm hoping it's dark gothic. It looks like it. But no, yeah, no, I've seen a couple of their Baby Metal's other clips. Now, I listened to them back in the day when their live stuff was. They weren't playing stadiums, and their live stuff really wasn't that good. I'll be polite. Their ability to put a show on, and their showmanship and the quality of their performances through the roof. The clip of theirs, which I think is the best of theirs, is "Catch Me If You Can," the one where they've mixed together 3 or 4 different concerts for the one track, and the Cami band in that clip are fantastic. But yeah, no, some of their collabs are pretty cool. I mean, which is weird because I look at my. Do I have Sabbath in my collection? Probably not. I've got Led Zepp. Definitely got Led Zepp. And I've got Iron Maiden. I don't have any Priest. I might have some Judas Priest. Like my. All right, now you're hurting brain cells. excuse me for a sec. I'm going to actually pull up my phone and have a look at my music playlists. Yeah, I was blasting within Temptation. So Nightwish and Within Temptation, where like I've got probably more of the Within Temptation than do of Nightwish at the moment. Let's see my playlists, because they're probably the easiest way to look at it. Things like Epica I was listening to, Amaranth, in terms of specific bands, Beast in Black, yep, Within Temptation, Beyond the Black, Within Temptation, Polyphia, Lacuna Coil, a few others as well. But if I go into the metal playlists, I had them. There's one I've got which is like, Sabbath, of course. I'm just going to hide it from in here. Why is that not? No, because I didn't go by playlist. Well, that would explain why. Or did I? No, I didn't go by playlist. But the funny thing is, I've got that mixed in with new jazz, R&B, acoustic, classic rock, power ballads. See, power ballads, the way things like Apple Music define power ballad is, There's a playlist I've got which is called Metal Instrumental, and it's so yep, that Amaranth. So like I think you got power metal. So it's got Sabaton, Dragon Force, Hammerfall, Powerwolf, Rainbow Metal Church, Man of War, Stratovarius, Beast in Black, Halloween. There's another one I picked up along the way called, well, Dragon Force is in there a couple of times. Queensryche. I tended to like Queensryche a fair bit. I haven't listened to a lot of their stuff. Obviously Nightwish is in there. Falconer. Falconer's really weird. They've got an album which I'll admit I've actually listened to a few times through. There's a couple of really good metal tracks on there, but by and large the rest of their albums takes a bit of listening to get your head around. Oh, Delane, Leaves Eyes. We covered Nightwish already. I've got a bunch of synthwave stuff. Chill. No. I'm really metal. They're hiding it from me. Yeah, here we go. Epic metal instrumentals. In Flames. Okay, Faith No More. See, Faith No More's like a weird one. Obviously haven't listened to enough of their stuff. Maiden, Candlemass, Van Halen, Halloween Again, Manowar, Dokken, Keep of Kalessin, yeah, Metallica. See, I mean, I've listened to a bunch of Metallica stuff, and I don't know. Son of Aurelius, I've really liked some of their stuff. It's a bit like getting to listen to like Avenged Sevenfold or Disturbed. It depends on how you're introduced to them as to whether you enjoy them. Mastodon is another one. Like there's some bands there that how you approach them, what you think of them, really depends on what track or what tracks you were introduced to them through. And yeah, I mean, like Son of Aurelius was... Okay, it's done it again. Got it. But no, I don't. If I'm going to smash something loud out on the stereo at max volume, it would actually be, funnily enough, Within Temptation and Beast in Black. There's a couple of their tracks. There's a track from Within Temptation that just sort of, I don't think Fleur sang it. I think it was the other lady that they had leading them. That just hammers your ears into the middle of your skull. Now, you put enough subwoofer on it and crank it. Oh. And then there's a couple of Sabaton ones. But there's a couple of tracks from some of these bands that I'll only ever listen to one or two of their tracks that are like you put it on to ride into the apocalypse and win. Well, yes, yep, I'm going to have to. And now that you've dropped the links for me, I'm definitely going to be able to see them now. I keep forgetting. It's like, yeah, no, I will, eventually. I will. But yeah, no, there's, I mean, some of those tracks that I was talking about, some of those bands I was talking about, yeah, they are the sort that, yeah, you're gonna pick up a sword, put your armor on, and go out, do something. But the funny thing is, I never got into it. I was never a metalhead when I was younger, when I probably had the ability to grow longer hair. I listened to a little bit of it. But a big, in fact, most of the albums I bought were either acoustic, blues, jazz, blues, some decent rock. No metal for a long time. EDM when it came on the circuit, especially trance, trip hop when that came up, that was something which I actually had that introduced to me. Well, I'd listened to it, but it took someone to, because we never really had. Well, that's the thing. Some of that stuff is really, really good. So, for example, what was the name of them? It was a Finnish. It was. Nope. Right. The Rasmus. So, funnily enough, the Rasmus had Dead Letters, their album, got some airplay and stuff out here. I heard some of their stuff. I consider them as like emo metal. Linkin Park, some of their stuff can be like emo metal. I mean, Limp Bizkit, that's classed as new metal, but emo metal are things like, to me, things like Linkin Park. who sang the Black Parade? Whoever sang that, they were emo, but metal end of emo. So there were, yeah, some of those sort of things. I couldn't get into the thrash metal or that, yes, super heavy dark metal or anything like that. Definitely not. But some of those guys, I mean, even though people tend to trash it as like the weakest of all, the simplest of all music styles, some of those metal guys are very skilled, and there's quite a good overlap between that and some of the classical musicians, especially some of the Euro metal guitarists seem to have a fairly good grounding in classical. Jump, 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 jump down the hill. Come on. Missed that one altogether. Much better. Right, so your next holiday isn't going to go to the beaches of the Netherlands where you're going to start digging a bunker system. You're going to head for the fields of Flanders and dig your bunker system there. It's like when I play Kerbal's Space Program, I have a dedicated KSP playlist, and it's things like Gustav Holst's Planets, it's Bowie, it's a whole bunch of stuff that sort of just makes you feel like... Well, I'd always been told the one phrase the Dutch learned in German was "give me back my bicycle."
Moving out.
And that they were saying it to German tourists as recent as the start of the 21st century. And it's like, really? And it's like, so what do the German tourists do? Why do they come to the Netherlands? Oh, they come and sit on our beaches and dig trenches and then go home. And it's like a very Dutch way of looking at things. It's like, so do they have fun? And they're like, well, they look like they're having fun digging trenches. It's like there's no sun lounges for them to put a towel on, so they've got to entertain themselves somehow. Which is kind of funny because the way the Dutch are looked at, say by the Spanish or the Southern French, are that they're crazy drivers who will tow a caravan anywhere, won't buy any local food. If need be, they'll drive all the way back to the Netherlands to get more food and drink. But that's okay. The Dutch don't like the French anyway. That's why Belgium was invented. Well, see, that's why that hole digging game that everyone suddenly got happy with not long ago must have been a German game. Up. Bad stuff. Very bad stuff. I remember this one. Time to save. Well, see, the funny thing is, what is the name of the game? Not Silent Hunter. Gotta work out what the name of them is called. No, it is Silent Hunter. The Silent Hunter series. Yes. Now, when playing Silent Hunter and I'm leaving Kiel or leaving the subpens in France, yes, the music I'm playing and blasting while I'm doing that, well, it's authentic. It's like the scene in Hunt for Red October when they start singing the Soviet national anthem. It's like, yeah, there's times in some of those games I'm like, right, that's it, time for the Red Army Choir to come out. But yeah, I mean, Silent Hunter 4, sneaking around the Atlantic in a wolfpack, well, not as a wolfpack, generally by yourself. But then, if I ever got the roles reversed and got to fly the Sunderlands or the Catalinas coming out hunting for them, yeah, you want to bet I'm blasting the other side's music. But Silent Hunter 4, I remember because it had the global map in it. I mean, the land areas weren't very well developed because obviously it was designed for submarine warfare. Taking my undersea boat well into the Pacific, parking it off the city I was living in at the time, and shelling it with the 88, so with the deck gun, which surprisingly enough, I'm surprised given the German activity, that mainly commerce raiders during World War II, they didn't bring U-boats down to Australia. The Japanese brought submarines down to Australia. There's a couple of places where, had they reached it, they could have shut down so much stuff so easily. It's like shooting fish in a barrel at that point. Downside is it's fairly shallow, so once they know you're there, your life expectancy gets very short. This don't look good.
Redeploying.
And then Silent Hunter 5, I think, was actually based on the US submarine. So you were basically Gato class. And I can't remember if you had Japanese ones or not. But yeah, that was weird. After playing around in the North Sea and the English Channel and sneaking through the what's the bay there called? Like basically sneaking around the English Isles in Silent Hunter 4, you suddenly get to the Pacific and it's like, well, tons of water, very few islands. You can not necessarily run on the surface, but it's a lot less threatening an environment than the North Sea to be running around in until you hit a battle group.
Heading out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get back into those games too at some point. I'm blaming you, Lord Typer, for bringing all this stuff up. They're definitely not on the playlist. I've got to dig them out, see if they even run on the current systems. See, that's like IL-2 Sturmovik. That, I mean, DCS has come along and is kind of seen as the peak of combat aircraft sim, arcade sims at the moment. But IL-2 Sturmovik was great for that World War One, well, World War Two type flying thing. I mean, they did have a World War One DLC / release that they put out, but to be honest, World of Gauge and Entertainment, whatever the game they put out is called, seems to be doing a decent job, but then they got modified. uh, no, thank you though. You'd be surprised at the stuff I have sitting in cupboards. I appreciate the offer. Yeah, I can omni-gel that. Well, the other thing I did in Silent Hunter 4 was ignore my missions and actually recreate a couple of real World War II missions where they got U-boats off the North American coast up around New Jersey, and they've got some sunken U-boats off the coast there to try and get a weather station. I mean, there was a weather station they put up near Newfoundland and near New York, I thought. So that was a lot of staring at nothing while that took place. Oh, come on. That was not a miss. What, hang on. Yeah, what era of Kriegsmarine? You might have to sell your kidneys for that. Get out the way.
Yes, sir.
Ready. Say the word.
Form up.
Thank you for moving. Don't know how I got myself stuck there, but I did. Sorry, when? What era? Sorry. Like, what were they called in World War One? Yes, there was certainly a lot of. Well, that's because in Germany for many years it was either illegal to own it or no one wanted to remember. And I'm not saying that was a bad thing or a good thing. I mean, it was a thing. Now, if I had something like that, that would be stored very carefully because those sort of things don't exist really anymore. That's like getting a flag of the Imperial Japanese Navy. I don't know how many originals of those are left, given that most of their navy ended up on the bottom. I want to swap that out to that. We're going to blast our way through. Right, Kaiser. Okay, yep, because Kaiser, yep, got it. So World War II was Kriegsmarine. You see, the one, I mean, in addition to that, the one that'd be interesting to get that tends to be, well, I mean, a lot of submarine forces around the world during that time frame would often fly a Skull and Crossbones on return to port. It would be interesting to see if any original ones from World War II, irrespective of whose side they belong to, if any of them still exist. I mean, I'm sure there's probably some in war memorials around the place, but Oh boy. That was a painful surprise. Alright, let's go this way and have a look. It's like, I mean, any of the World War II Air Force insignia, not just Luftwaffe, but RAF, RAAF, RNZAF, US, or USAAF at the time. A whole bunch of that stuff. The countries that had them just sort of, at the end of the war, just went, no, we don't care about it, and got rid of it. It's like the number of Mosin Nagants that got destroyed, or Garans that got destroyed because it's like, no one wants these, they're trash. And they just destroyed mass numbers of them. Like all the weapons surrendered at the end of the war. It's just like, oh, no one wants these, we'll just destroy them. Well, I could kind of see that. I mean, but then again, um, I'll be honest, I can't think of any German war museum I'd been to. I mean, plenty of sites that were marked as memorials and things like that. I remember seeing a lot of those, but I don't recall like a war museum as such anywhere, or a military type museum. I mean, I'm sure that there's small military museums associated with units and stuff like that, but no, not at the national level. But then again, I think certainly the experience through the last the last 20, 30 years of the 20th century was that most people just wanted to forget it, wanted to move on. Not outright forget it. I mean, still remember what happened, but no one wanted any further reminders of it than was necessary. I mean, Australia had a war memorial with an attached museum, in part, and I'm fairly sure I've read this was actually part of the guy that designed, who, the not the design brief, but part of the rationale why there's a museum attached to it as such, is that because most of the conflicts up to that point were taking place on the opposite side of the world, there needed to be a way for the Australian public to come and, well, memorialise what happened, and where possible, you know, have the evidence to show what took place, like what they were dealing with, sort of thing. Oh, hang on, you're on my side. Get out of the way. Who are you shooting at? I was going to say, I'll take the win.
I think we're good, Commander.
I mean, it's also the reason because this is, I think, it's very much an Australian thing. I mean, I've heard a lot of UK places will have sort of smaller memorials, but pretty much every town in Australia, or anything more than a couple of houses slapped together, will often have a small World War One memorial. Well, they started out as World War One memorials, and they generally have the names of people from the region or the area who went and served, and, well, if they returned, people who died, etc. And so they were built post World War One. Then, obviously, when World War Two popped along, people added to it by adding their adding plaques and plates to reflect those who served in World War Two, because generally the populations in those areas had massively increased, and the way the population had been, even though it was a fairly small population, it was hard to go anywhere in the country and
I'm surprised. I figured
be
one of these
somewhere
outposts would be
that
the main base of operations for
wasn't
this
affected
incursion.
in some way.
Hold on. This receiver's picking up some kind of transmission. Based on the signal strength, I say it's coming from inside this star cluster.
It's gotta be the main base. We can use the signal to lock onto its location and go take it out. It's gotta be the main base. We can use the signal
just
to lock
said
onto
that.
its location and go take it out.
So, I mean, there wasn't the same coverage for later conflicts like Korea or Vietnam and stuff. I mean, there's national memorials for each of those, but the main memorials in each of the cities and stuff, or well, most places, is World War One type memorial, and so on from there. Yes. So it's also kind of like a military history type museum for Australia as well. Okay, we're going to go to Grissom. We haven't been to Grissom yet. Got it. Check map. We're good. Let's go back to Normandy. Alright, I think by the time this will be done, we'll be pretty much at the end of our stream. Isn't it amazing how these bots have the exact same spiel? Grissom? Yep. That'll be it. So I would say I mean, it feels like we didn't do much tonight, but we certainly have. We may have knocked over a lot of quests, but in terms of knocking over the planet, the systems, we've done that. Again, playing this on disc would have driven me up the absolute wall. Okay, I will land on that in due course. Let's scan. Up. There we go. Alright, let's land here and make it. Right, so when I finish here, I'll set up, excuse me, I'll set up the next stream, which will be tomorrow morning, so in 9 hours, 9.5 hours, which will be the Just Chatting type stream. So I'll set that in the YouTube as the next scheduled event, and go away and have a look at those links that you put down there, Lord Typer. Yes, my head is doing that. And that. Okay, missed that one. Good stretch. I don't want to go. All I want to do. What's that? That'd be a Geth. Doesn't tell me. Debris. Nothing. All right, we'll go down there first. Although, even though tomorrow's news hasn't happened yet, I've got a fairly confident idea what I'm going to see articles on tonight/tomorrow morning. I don't know that I want to talk about some of that stuff. Because it's just sad, because it always keeps happening. Bouncy, 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 bouncy. Plunk. Alright, let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, done. Alright, I don't see anything else, so we'll save and head for our doom. Well, I did say a bunker system, so I'm guessing it's not going to have a huge amount of external. We're going to be wanting to go inside and run around and blow things up. So let's do that. I see some oars. It'd be nice if I could zoom out on this map. I'm sure there's probably a button. Oh, not that one. Not that one. Not that one. Go that way. Go that way, 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 up. Up, 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 down. Alright. There should be an ore body. Is that it? Nope. I parked on top of it again. Nope. There. There. Huzzah!
Yes, sir.
Get out of the way. Right. Big jump, big jump, big jump, little jump, big jump.
Enemy contact.
Yes, I got that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Won't let me save. Alright, let's get down there and get blasting. I'm taking the damage. Up. Time to run. Run, 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 run.
All targets down.
No worries, mate. No, 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 no. I'll be done. So, go have a good time. Catch you next time, mate. Thank you for dropping in. I'll be finishing up here pretty soon anyway. I do need some sleep. Leveled up. Beautiful.
All clear, Commander.
Enemy contact.
It is not all clear, Commander.
Think we got him, Commander.
No, we did not got the Commander. Good job, Ash.
Thanks.
Another one. No, thank you, mate. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Done.
Mitagel deployed.
Yeah, I need more health. I need more health. Health, 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 health. Got it.
Negative contacts, Commander.
That was close. We'll go with very, 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 very close. All right. Now I'm out of combat. Can I save, please? Yeah. Anything that's a 9 definitely gets omni-gelled. I'll just omni-gel a lot. Alright, you auto level up. You auto level up. Me. I'm gonna keep rolling those 3. So 1, 2, 3. So even though I said I didn't think we were going to level up tonight, we did. Alright, so 8, 9, 60. So we'll get to that level across assault training, fitness, and yeah. Which just means that next week is unlikely to get any sort of leveling up. No, it might be. I should have possibly finished my sweep through the galaxy, and then I'll take on Ferris and Neveria. Although it would be possible, stupid that it might be, to do Neveria first. Because the game certainly feels like it wants you to do Ferris first. Alright, let's dip and blast.
Now it gets fun!
Huzzah! Good work, team. We are
I think
done.
we
Let's
got him, Commander.
collect all the goodies and then get out of here. I was going to say, yeah, when was that going to stop flying? Ah, come on. I was... I'll omni-gel that then. Too bad. Alright, let's go check upstairs. And then we is done here. And that means we're done for tonight's session. And we're pretty much bang on time. Well, for what I said I was going to do. Not a lot of stuff up here. No. And is it going to open the door? No. Alright, well. Again, we will get back to the Mako and save there and call it a night. We will not leave the planet. Omni, 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 Omni. Speak to Tali once you're back on the Normandy. I will. Now, I don't think that's going to be enough to give me a mission completion with Ash and Kaiden. I believe they need to be with me in party when that happens. So we're going to go Suave, overwrite yes, and drop everyone into chat, put some tunes up, close the night out, and we'll go some easy listening. Got to remember that my VTube character's now on the screen, right there. No, right here. Yeah, it works. I'll double check my save. Yep. Okay, what do we got next? Well, firstly, thank you everyone coming out tonight. Regulars, first timers, chatters, locusts, everyone in between. Channel wouldn't be the same without you. Thank you all for being here. What we have next is a just chatting stream. So a general chit chat, a react, general chat. That'll be tomorrow morning. Well, my time. Kick off about 9:30. I do have a quick errand to run about 9 o'clock, or just before 9. So I don't know that I'll be back exactly in time to start at 9:30. I should probably have everything loaded up. Just whether it'll be ready to roll, I don't know. Plus, I also don't know what we're going to be looking at tomorrow because, well, the news hasn't happened yet. Looking at what's been in the news over the weekend, I've got a very bad sneaking suspicion that I know what we're going to see some articles on. And, well, I could just skip them. We'll see how I feel tomorrow. Anyway, so that'll be 9 o'clock tomorrow on the various channels. Then Wednesday, special day. It's between Tuesday and Thursday. Well, it's between Tuesday and Wednesday, Wednesday. So that'll be Wednesday morning. We'll do another one. Wednesday night is supposed to be Pillars of Eternity. We'll see how that goes. Thursday is going to be another general chatting. Same for Friday morning. Friday night should be a Prince of Persia, Warrior Within stream. And then Saturday, Minecraft. Sunday, giveaway. If you're not up for that, so if you haven't already seen it, head to the Discord. If you want to keep on top of everything, check the socials. Messages go out in both of them. So messages go out on Twitter and Insta before each stream, indicating what, where, when. And that'll be the place to pick up things in terms of what I'm streaming, when I'm streaming, where I'm streaming it. And also the Discord eventually picks up the Insta messages and also punches a message out when the stream goes live. Expect that all streams from now on, unless said otherwise, will be multi-streamed. So if you're watching this on a channel that you didn't hear me talking much to tonight, I will be on. I will be there. I do see chat. I do see all the chats. Okay. Right. So I think I'll close that out. So again, massive thank you to everyone coming out.